Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for One Piece episode 943. And to start off, I gotta say, the entire beginning of this episode, and honestly all the way through, was was one of those that was again well worth the watch because not only did they extend Sanji and Zoro's fights with some pretty good art and animation, but I feel that in general this is one of those episodes that just by fleshing out more of this conflict with Orochi's and Kaido's forces, it not only fills in a few gaps that even the manga left out, but by doing this, it also gives us a much better sense that Kaido isn't the only strong opposition that the Straw Hats have to worry about, and that really anyone who's considered an enemy on Wano to them is someone they need to be prepared for. And don't get me wrong, there have been a lot of great moments where all these different factions outside of Kaido's army and Kaido himself have proven their merit. But I I guess to put it another way, because of these small additions made to these past couple episodes, and especially this episode here, it feels much more like the Straw Hats are facing down a new world level threat. Like everything that happened in this episode felt like from something I kind of expected to see from a pretty much threat of the new world that I could see in the happening in the new world. And while at the same time also giving us some great character moments that not even the manga gave us. Like this, like I feel that these past couple episodes, honestly, the one thing I can give these past couple episodes as a whole is that they've really kind of touched on and given a lot more expansion on the expansion that really kind of helped that really fleshed out the material a lot more than the manga did. That's one thing I can definitely give this episode and the past and last week's episode as well too, is that they've just been they've really kind of been expanding on this material in the best way possible. And I love it for that. Honestly, I didn't even these like what we've gotten out of this arc, and what the anime's given us out of this arc is something that honestly I didn't even get out of the Whole Cake Island or any of the previous arcs in the New World anime wise, and again even just a little bit in the manga. And granted, the trade-off here obviously is a slower pace, but by focusing on these moments, but I do feel it's kind of worth it, and it's a trade-off that's almost kind of worth it because again we are kind of just giving a lot better character moments that even the manga didn't give us. So yeah, again, the episode in itself, it was amazing just on that front alone. Um, and with that said, let's talk about the bind Law is in, because I'll be honest, I didn't think much of this confrontation with Hawkins when I read it when I read what was going on in the manga, but seeing it play out in the anime, it finally clicks in me and makes me realize just how much of a fucked up situation Law is facing right now. Law pretty much Hawkins pretty much proved himself by cutting a slit in his arm. If if Law does if Law does anything to Hawkins, he risks killing his crew. But if he doesn't do anything, then he's just opening himself up to be in the exact same situation they're in, or worse. Law's pretty much facing down an impossible choice here. And again, going off what I said, it's something I love about Wano. From seeing the Straw Hats and their allies face one near impossible situation after another at every turn, and how they're going to and just seeing things play out in the sense of seeing how they're going to counter these massive roadblocks in their way. And this doesn't even just apply to Law either, but also from what we see in this episode, it also applies to what's going on with Luffy, because in this episode, Queen, by pretty much dunking both Kid and Killer into that pool, into that little vat of water, he's taking advantage of Luffy's greatest trait, which is how much he basically cares for others and how much he respects others. Even if there is enemy, he always can't help but have a certain amount of respect for them. And Kid and Queen in a lot of ways is taking advantage of that, and he's using it as a weakness against Luffy. Like he's using it in a way where if you do anything, you dead. Like there's real for him, he's giving him some sort of an impossible choice where anything he does, Luffy dead, Luffy dead. Like he's really giving him only one choice, which is Luffy, you die here. Which obviously we know it's not going to happen, but again, much like Law, Luffy is facing an impossible choice here. So again, I really love that. Um, and and honestly, while I still have, and the thing is though, while I still have to wait and see how the conclusion to the whole prison mine plays out, mainly from how they're going to handle Queen's defeat, I do admit that the anime for me is actually making Queen feel a little less like a pushover. Again, I have to wait and see how it plays out for Queen, like how the conclusion to this whole prison mine thing concludes for Queen, but I I will say I think the anime is kind of handling Queen a little bit better, or at least better, or at least that extra little bit better, pretty much just enough to the point where I can say he's not a complete pushover. Like he's not a total pushover. Like he is making Queen a lot more of a threatening case than I ever kind of took seriously in the manga. I will say that much. Um, with that said, let's talk about the big thing with this episode, which is Big Mom has arrived at the prison mine herself, and never before has something become both the best and worst case scenario at the same time than in this moment right here. Because on one hand, when Big Mom finds out there's no red bean soup and there's no red bean soup, she's going to go fucking ballistic. Like if you think that there's just a little glimpse of her rampage we saw was already scary enough, when she finds out there's no red bean soup, she's going to go on a damn murder spree. And starting off with the best case scenario for this, her rampage is going to provide probably the perfect opportunity for a revolt to begin. Like all the chaos Big Mom's going to cause, it's going to allow an opportunity for all the prisoners to kind of rise up against, in order to rise up against the like, in order to rise up against the against all of Kaido's men that are stationed there. But on the other hand, her going on her usual hunger rampage could just easily cause another headache for Luffy, even if he's lost her memory, as well as make any escape plan way more complicated than it was before. Like unfortunately, any escape plan from here is going to have to factor in a little bit of like Big Mom's rampage, unfortunately, and how they can use that to their advantage. But yeah, on a final note, talking art and animation this week again. Like, I think this is one of those where, in some ways, I think a lot of the good parts of the art and animation were used sparingly, but they were used in a way that definitely stood out. Like all the best parts of the art and animation, like pretty much stood out in the best way possible. And honestly, I think this was. And honestly, I think the art and animation, just like last week, it did definitely improve a little bit more in this episode as well. Like it wasn't, like I'm not gonna say it was bad or anything. Like I don't think it was necessarily bad, but it did show another bit of a slight improvement again. Like that I think it's one of those times where with Wano, I'm seeing more and more slight. I'm seeing a lot of improvement more, and while nothing has been terribly bad with the quality in Wano, I'm seeing slight improvements here and there, and slight pockets of improvement here and there, and where it counts pretty much. And but yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and list your Crunchyroll. That Night of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.